All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the first day of the fall working meeting. We're glad to have you joining us for the next few days. I'm just going to do some quick housekeeping before I hand things over to Josh for the opening plenary. So first, this is just the schedule for today. We have the welcome and lightning talks, a quick break from 10:45 to 11 Eastern time. And then we'll move into the main session for the day, which also has 2 breaks built into it so that you can grab some food and get some work done, etc. So I just want to quickly point out that we've enabled closed captioning for the event. So if that's helpful for you, you can turn that on, or if it's distracting, you can turn it off. And I would also like to point out that we have created a Slack channel for the event if you'd like to communicate with other attendees during the sessions. It's down at the bottom of this slide that I have up. There's a link to join the IIIF Slack workspace if you're not already a member. It's just the bit.ly link. And then the channel is the 2021 fall working meeting. I see some folks in the Slack channel are having some trouble finding the Zoom URLs. If anyone who is in there could share it with people, that would be very handy. If not, once I stop presenting, I will hand it over to them and give them the URL. Thanks all. So with that, I just want to point out we're recording the initial presentations for each of the sessions during the event. So today we'll be recording the 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. session and the 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. session, but the discussion sessions will not be recorded. That's to let everyone feel comfortable sharing their thoughts. And because it's a little bit easier if we have those documented through notes, just something that's a little bit easier to refer back to continuously. And our goal for this event is really to have some actionable takeaways that can help guide the community for the next year or so. So with that, I'm just going to stop sharing and I will hand things over to Josh.
Thanks, Meg. I will share, assuming everybody can hear me okay. That should work.
Yep.
Great. Let me do that. Well, great. Let me say, first of all, just echo what Meg said. Welcome, everybody. We're really happy to have folks from all corners of the globe here. And also just welcome to the folks who are watching this recorded. Not everybody can join at the same time synchronously. And so, yeah, we're trying out a little bit of a new format, and I'll say a little bit more about that in just a moment. But I'm going to just cover a few more logistics and announcements. In addition to what Meg mentioned earlier. So a little bit of logistics for the day and for also just talking about the shape of this meeting and how we're hosting the fall working meeting. And then just covering some of the announcements of recent exciting things that are happening in the IIIF community and consortium. We'll go through those, and I should have added a last bullet point, but I'll hand it back over to Meg for the last bit of this first hour, and we'll have 4 lightning talks today. There's lightning talks, I think, at the beginning of each day, and so sort of a nice way to set up the conversations we're going to have over the course of these days. So in case you're just joining us, we'll just keep reiterating it. We'll say it at the beginning of different parts of the sessions as well. But just to note that we're recording the first section of each day so that you can refer back to that or share it with colleagues, or if you're not able to join any part of the meeting synchronously, you can refer to that later. We'll be posting the recordings at the end of each day, trying to keep on top of that just so that people can access those and feel like they're getting the latest information as it's happening, or as close to that as possible. And as Meg said, we're really hoping to lodge a lot of this in the notes documents. So basically, we really encourage you to follow those documents, to contribute to them. That's one of the nice things about Google Docs, that we can support multiple note takers and folks capturing different elements of conversations as we're going along. Okay. And so just a little bit about the shape of today. This is the schedule for today. So we've broken the conference into 3 thematic days. And so today is really about that question at the top: how do we keep IIIF current? And this touches on the specifications of IIIF, but I think we'll get into a lot of other elements that connect to that. So community and consortium pieces that are all connected to how we do the work of addressing user needs and keeping IIIF in line with basically solving problems and doing that in a standards-based and elegant way. So we're in the welcome and lightning talk section here. There'll be a break, and then we get into the real thematic content for today. So there'll be some more short talks that are meant to kind of pose interesting questions. There'll be discussion, sort of a conversation about elements of migrating from 2 to 3 and latest changes to the presentation API. Then those short talks about kind of pointers and provocative points about what IIIF might look like in 4 years. And then rounding it out, sorry, getting a little feedback, there we go. Rounding it out with just some discussion led by the editor group, but including all the folks here who can join us about sort of the scope and how we integrate new elements into the IIIF specifications, and how we talk about solving use cases, things like that. So that's today. I guess I just want to say briefly, this is a little bit of a new way of doing the working meeting for us. So in the past, IIIF has had generally 2 large-scale in-person events: the annual meeting that we've done in person in Europe and North America, and then we've done a working meeting, also alternating between Europe, the UK, and North America. And so one thing I just want to mention is that this, obviously during COVID and the pandemic, everybody's sort of shifted online. We've found a lot of best practices. We've found a really great way of connecting the IIIF community. And this is something that we're really hoping to make somewhat of a permanent change. We really think it's important to not just have IIIF events in person for those who can make it. We think those are important, those in-person conversations, the ability to gather together in a room, to have those hallway conversations. We're not going to stop doing that, but we also think it's sort of critical for equity in a huge number of reasons, to be able to have sort of online conversations, online events and meetings that do the work of furthering the specifications, connecting the community. And so this working meeting is an effort to get to something that we can do hopefully annually. So this is a model that we're trying this year. We have 3 thematic days. So how do we keep IIIF current is today. How do we demonstrate value with IIIF is tomorrow. And how do we make sure we're reaching the right folks, the right communities, the right parts of the world is the conversation for Thursday. So one thing to keep in mind, just as a meta idea, we just would love feedback about how this event is working. So we'll send out a survey after the event is complete, but with that in mind, that we want to have a really participatory and useful way of connecting the community that doesn't just involve traveling annually. So with that, I think just a few announcements and celebration points of note that I want to bring to folks' attention, and then we'll move on to the lightning talks. One thing to mention and celebrate is that we've had a number of new members to the IIIF Consortium, which is the body of institutions that formally funds the staff positions. So Glenn, Meg, and myself funds our ability to do trainings and to do all sorts of other grant-supported letters and consultation work. So we're really grateful for the institutions that see the potential and the value of IIIF to such an extent that they literally support the work that we do. So we have our 2 newest members who've joined since our last big event, Ghent University Library and the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Really excited to have them on board as full members. So they're joining our technical review committee and joining a lot of the other work that we've been doing in the community and technical groups. And just sort of a consistent recommendation that we make is if IIIF has proven useful at your institution, please do consider taking a look at that join page. Join the consortium at the associate level or the full level. There's lots of benefits, and we'd be happy to talk with you about that if that's of interest. Just send us an email or get in touch, however is easiest. So one thing I want to highlight too that was made possible through the funds of the consortium is an exciting debut that's useful, I think, to everybody. Is the debut of the new website that we published just last week, so November 10th. It's a total revamp of the content and the structure and basically almost everything that was on the IIIF website. And some new themes and layouts for our specifications. Everything is really designed to make it easier to use IIIF materials. And that is, of course, trying to accommodate longstanding members of the community. So we tried to make the specifications for those who are really looking for the details and checking against the specifications and the validators, making that easier to do. So making existing work easier. But also a huge element of this is lowering the barrier to entry. So making it easier for folks who have heard about IIIF at conferences and from colleagues and others who want to get an idea of how to get started with IIIF. That's really the guiding idea with this revamp of the website. And part of that was doing a lot of work on the UX front and making it a lot more accessible. So passing accessibility guidelines. All of that was a huge element of our site revamp. And so I want to make this a little bit participatory. You know, we are very proud of the website, but there are a few places on the website where we still have some room for new content. And one of those is the headers on our pages. We can feature IIIF content. And so we're looking for suggestions for headers for our 404 page. So that's, you know, the page that people hit if they don't find what they were looking for. So if you know of an openly licensed IIIF image that you think might be kind of a fun reference for a 404 page, please send that along to us. Drop it in the Slack channel or email it to us or send it by Twitter. However is useful, but we'd love to see a couple more suggestions on that front. And then the last couple things I want to mention are related to some of the technical work. So just an exciting new piece of work published just last month is an extension to the presentation API that was published, so worked on and published by the MAPS technical specification group. And so it's called the NavPlace extension. There's a link to it there at the bottom. And basically, at a very simple level, what this does is it allows for the kind of native connection of IIIF material to geographic information. So it formally incorporates GeoJSON into IIIF annotations, and it allows you to link things, you know, like photographs or documents to 2 points on a map. And this is really exciting as a first step for the MAPS TSG. There's some really exciting work that is going to follow this that gets into the domain of georeferencing maps and doing it all using IIIF annotations and a little bit obviating the need for things like geotiffs and really complicated geospatial infrastructure. Being able to do that with IIIF annotations is quite exciting. So look for that in the coming months. And another that is kind of nearing completion that I want to bring to your attention is the IIIF content state API. So this is at 0.9 right now. We're just sanding down the last rough edges. The editors are working on kind of the last little elements here. This is really about being able to port content from one viewer to another, but port specific views, whether that's a particular zoom level or an annotation, being able to take that from one viewer to another in a standardized way. So there are some ways to do this now, but this would be a formal IIIF specification that would enable that. I think open up a lot of new doors for IIIF use cases or solving those use cases. And so the last thing I'll leave with, and this kind of gets into the conversation that the rest of today is about, but just to point out that these are the 4 current groups within the IIIF universe that are working on technical specifications and updates to the specification. So we have the Discovery TSG, which is working on the content state spec that I just mentioned, the Maps TSG, which I also mentioned earlier. Then two other groups right now. There's the Authentication TSG and the Content Search TSG. And if you're interested in those, we really urge you to get involved. But at a really high level, I'll say that those groups are working on bringing the existing authentication spec and content search spec in line, bringing them basically up to date with the latest versions of the image API specification and the presentation API specification. So first bringing those up to date, and then potentially looking at new elements to incorporate. And this really is the last note I will mention. I just want to make a note and mention our gratitude. We have two editors who have or are just now stepping down from the IIIF editorial group. So John Stroop and Maria Whitaker both have made tremendous contributions. So John Stroop has been there since the beginning, since June 2015. And Maria Whitaker is a more recent addition, but has been both really valuable contributors, have really expanded the purview and the thoughtfulness of how the editorial group works. So Maria's now retired from Indiana University, John Stroop on to bigger and better things at Princeton, but just wanted to note our gratitude, thanks to those folks. And so I think that then brings us, yes, to today's lightning talks. So I'm going to hand it back over to Meg, and we can take it from there.
I'm muted. There we go. So thanks, Josh. I'm going to quickly play. We have 4 lightning talks for the day. Actually, Josh, could you share your screen again, just with the titles, just so everyone can have a chance to see those before I share them. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we have 4 talks today. Thanks to the folks who have put these together. We have a presentation from Melissa Gold-Fournier at the Yale Center for British Arts about rights in the presentation manifest as part of the Yale implementation, from Asanobu, Kitamoto, and Tomohiro Ikezaki. We have creating image annotations using the IIIF Curation platform for a digital humanities project and Omeka S. Jie Song has put together a talk titled IIIF Image on Blockchain Forever. And from Nuno Freire, we have supplemental textual resources in Europeana, an update and technical considerations. So I am going to turn off my video so you can focus on the presenters. And I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to make sure I do it with the sound enabled. There we go. All right. So hopefully everyone can see my screen with the, okay, great. So let's go with the first video here.
My name is Melissa Fournier, and I'm Head of Imaging and Intellectual Property at the Yale Center for British Art. It's my pleasure today to share how the cultural heritage partners at Yale approached rights when exploring how to construct a version 3.0 compliant IIIF manifest in the context of the development of our second-generation content delivery service, known as CDS. Looking at the IIIF 3.0 presentation API in the overview diagram, we can see the relationships between the resource types. I'd like to draw your attention to the manifest and the Canvas resource types in particular. In building our manifest, we understand that the required statement and rights elements at the top level of the manifest apply to and are meant to describe the rights status of the manifest as a whole, and not just the physical object described by the manifest. No matter the copyright status of the real-world object that the manifest describes, the manifest itself needs to be identified as public domain or openly licensed so that implementers know that they can access and use the manifest. However, the original object, as well as the other resources representing it within the manifest, such as images, may well be protected by copyright or other restrictions. So we need to include rights at both the manifest and the canvas levels in the manifest to express these distinctions. This became clear to us as we constructed our manifests, but we needed to make it clear to our users no matter their viewing environment. Here you see a work from the collection of the Yale Center for British Art in Mirador. This painting by J.M.W. Turner is in the public domain, and under Yale's open access policy, we do not assert any rights in our digital surrogates of the work. You'll notice that the Mirador Viewer presents the manifest level rights quite prominently. Remember also that this element describes the rights to the manifest and not the rights status of the physical object or its digital reproductions. Since the underlying work depicted here is in the public domain, the distinction in this example is less critical. However, in order to make it clear to the user that this rights information applies to the entire package of data, the value in this field, which is displayed across all of our assets for which we produce manifests, reads as follows. Metadata describing the Yale Center for British Art collections is public domain under CC0. Copyright or other restrictions may apply to cultural works or images of those works in this record. This statement is slightly adapted by each of the museums at Yale that are using CDS2 to create their manifests and deliver their content. In the second screenshot of the same manifest for the same object viewed in Mirador, you can see the rights information that we pass at the canvas level. We included 2 additional elements in the metadata block to make rights for the underlying works and permitted usage of the images more explicit. These additional elements are labeled Image Use Rights and Copyright Statement. The Image Use Rights metadata element describes rights to use the digital representations of the cultural heritage object described by the manifest. The image rights value contains a human-readable summary of a Creative Commons public domain tool, Creative Commons license, or standardized rights statement from rightstatements.org. The corresponding URI is also provided in the manifest. Here's how a work under copyright would appear in the Mirador Viewer. The copyright statement field communicates the copyright notice for this work, and the image use rights field contains a shortened rights statement based on the applicable standardized rights statement from rightstatements.org that describes what the user may or may not be able to do with this image of the work. Here's a peek at how the Yale Center for British Art approached its rights mapping. The applicable object rights type field in TMS or 542 field in Voyager informs the rights statement that is displayed at the canvas level for the described object. At this time, the Yale Center for British Art makes use of the Mirador Viewer in our online collection, but we wanted to be sure that no matter the viewing environment, the display of our manifests would make sense to the user. Here you can see how one of our same works appears in the Universal Viewer. I hope this presentation has provided some useful information about our approach. Please feel free to reach out with questions, and thanks for listening.
All right, let's move on to our next lightning talk.
Hello, my name is Asanobu Kitamoto from ROIS-DS Center for Open Data in the Humanities, CODH, and National Institute of Informatics. Today, I would like to talk about creating image annotations using the typification platform for Digital Humanities project on the Omeka S. This work is a collaboration with Tomohiro Ikezaki. So, first we would like to explain what's the motivation of this talk. We are working on a digital humanities research project called Digital Silk Road, and as a part of it, we are creating a database of Silk Road ruins. And to create this database, we would like to deal with research questions about photographs. And in particular, we want to describe an evidence that 2 photographs, left and right, taken before and after in 80 years, are recording the same site. So the left photograph is a photograph in the book published in 1928, and right, a photograph in the photo album taken at the site in 2004. So this ruin and this ruin looks similar, so we would like to describe that this ruin is the same, but these are photographs taken from different trip sites. So the left hand side, this is the photograph is cropped from digitized book called Toyo Bunko Rare Books. And the right-hand side, this is a photo albums called Circled in Photographs. So the right photographs are taken from this photo album. So the research question is how to integrate image collections from multiple IIIF sites. So to realize this, we connect IIIF Curation platform, ICP, and Omeka-S for IIIF-based data integration. So IIIF Curation platform, ICP, is a web-based platform for creating and annotating IIIF images. And Omeka-S is a web publishing platform for digital cultural heritage collections. So first, we collect images from IIIF sites for research purpose, and then harvest images and metadata from ICP to Omeka-S, and then integrate on the Omeka-S. This is a brief overview of what we are doing for the creating a database. So this is a diagram of the overview of the process that we used. First, we use IIIF Curation Viewer for cropping an image from a digitized book or a photograph, and then annotate a metadata on the cropped regions. Second, we use Canvas Indexer to collect images and metadata, and then harvest these images and metadata from Omeka-S and create a database with a description of the comparison of the two photographs. We can also introduce vdiff.js, which is an image comparison tool in JavaScript to compare two images. This is introduced in previous IIIF conferences. So we go into the detail of these steps. First step is curation on the IIIF Curation Viewer. So we use this crop button represented as a rectangle to select the rectangular region from the IIIF image. And then we use favorite button represented by the star to store the region in the list. So you use the IIIF Curation Viewer to show IIIF image, and then crop a region, and then store it in the curation list. After that, we can use the list of regions for different purpose. Then we use IIIF Curation Viewer for annotation. We can add metadata like ID, name, and title to the cropped regions on IIIF Curation Viewer. And then the metadata is stored in the curation and saved into the JSON keeper, which is JSON store for the ICP. Third, we use Canvas Indexer for harvesting IIIF curations. So Canvas Indexer is actually used for two types of harvesting. One is Canvas Indexer can harvest IIIF curations from the JSON keeper by monitoring IIIF change discovery notifications from the JSON keeper. Second, Omeka-S can harvest IIIF curations from the Canvas Indexer by iterating GET requests on the facet, such as ID. So this is a user interface of Canvas Indexer. So we have a list of curations by ID. Then Canvas Indexer can access these IDs and then harvest all the curations stored in the Canvas Indexer. So for this purpose, we developed several Omeka-S modules. And the most important one is IIIF Curation Import, which converts IIIF Curation JSON into CSV and use the existing CSV import modules to import curations into the Omeka-S. And other modules are also created for dealing with curation as an Omeka-S media. And these modules are for general purpose and may be open source in the future. So if you're interested in this integration, you can look at this IIIF Curation platform information on the web page, and also you can make a contact with me using the email address. Thank you very much.
All right, and our second to last talk for this morning, just go.
Hello everyone. Today I want to show you how to make a IIIF image permanent on the web. Here's the step. First, click Publish. This is a very famous Chinese calligraphy masterpiece written almost 1,000 years ago. Well, now I'm trying to first publish it to the cloud computing service, which is Ali Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. You can see that this is a serverless function. It's used to slice the image into a level 0 format, and then pin it into a pin service, which is Pinata. Well, in IPFS, pin service, it's just a way to make sure that the image itself is on the net, even though there's no people visiting it. But say it in a different way, at least there is one person reading the image. The image is always there on the net. Now you can see that the image has been put onto the IPFS network. We can confirm that by checking its CID. CID, which is the unique identifier of the content on IPFS. We can use this official gateway to confirm that the content is on the net. That takes a time because it needs to go through all the IPFS network to figure out the content of the image. But the meaning is very important. So there's no single server to handle this image on IPFS. Everyone who have loaded the image can also serve it as a server. So that's the importance of peer-to-peer network. You can see each small picture has its own CID, which means it is on the IPFS network now. Let's see how it looks like in browser. Well, actually, by the gateway, the speed is very quick. This is also a good benefit for IPFS community because now they are able to load a very large image into IPFS or into browser very quickly, which is also very beautiful. It's also very useful to NFT because currently a lot of people are using it to demonstrate art masterpiece. That's what I'm trying to say. The last example regarding to breakthrough in browser demonstration of IPFS. Well, currently we have a service walk that can enable content fetching from the IPFS. Now you can see this web page load very quickly. Actually, the content are from IPFS, but more importantly, this browser is not only a browser; it's now a server as well. It serves the content. Well, this has a very significant meaning for cultural heritage images because we always want to make the image permanent. So technically now, as long as one person is browsing the image can exist. So it's very interesting to culture heritage images.
All right, sorry about that. I could not get my Zoom to unmute. So now we have the final lightning talk of the day. That one was from Jie Song at IntelliJourney. Now we have a presentation from Nuno Freire at Europeana.
Hello, I am Nuno Freire. I am a researcher at Europeana, and I'm going to present about supplemental textual resources, the ongoing work in Europeana, and the implications that it is bringing for IIIF presentation version 3. Several projects around Europeana are producing textual resources by the application of optical character recognition, automatic translation, speech recognition, or from crowdsourced provided transcriptions. So Europeana is improving its interoperability capabilities to ingest OCR text, transcriptions of audio, video, and images, and subtitles and captions. The EDM full text profile handles the representation of this kind of resources. And the design of the EDM profile has been always done in accordance to these IIIF specifications whenever possible. In the EDM profile, full text is represented using web annotations, using the same patterns as IIIF Presentation API. The profile also uses the IIIF text granularity extension to differentiate between different granularities of full text. One example is the application in newspapers, where the full text can be provided in different granularities: full page, box, lines, or individual words. The annotations also refer to the areas of the image where the text is located. The profile is also applied to transcriptions of text within images. In this simpler case, the text is available only with page-level granularity and without reference to the position in the image. This third example is the application to subtitles and captions. Here the text is associated with time frame with a text granularity value of time text. In the Europeana portal, a IIIF manifest is created from the EDM full text data and displayed on the IIIF viewer. In the case of the newspapers, for example, the IIIF viewer is capable of highlighting search terms on the images of the pages. These textual resources activate different functionalities in the IIIF viewer, but we are unable to represent them properly in the IIIF manifest. That is, they are presenting new requirements for IIIF. The first requirement comes from captions and subtitles. The IIIF text granularity extension does not define an appropriate value for captions and subtitles. Do we need a text granularity level for time text? The second requirement concerns the motivations used in the annotations of textual resources. With only painting and supplementing, we are unable to inform the IIIF viewers about when to activate the right functionalities for the textual annotations. In the case of image resources, for example, how can we inform the IIIF viewer that the annotations refer to OCR text or to a transcription of the text present in the images, so that the viewer may highlight search terms in the images, for example? And in case of audiovisual resources, how can we inform viewers that the annotations refer to captions or subtitles in order to enable functionality specialized for them? And also, how can we inform viewers that the annotations refer to a transcript and therefore may be rendered differently for captions and subtitles? If we agree that the new motivations are necessary to tackle the use cases I just mentioned, then it opens one more question. Are transcriptions, captions, and subtitles supplemental resources or not? Should any additional annotation motivations defined for these resources extend IIIF supplementing, or should they be defined at the same level? To finalize, I would like to acknowledge the work by Maria Whittaker, who led the discussion on these issues so far and prepared the draft for the Annotations TSG Charter. Thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to discuss these issues with the IIIF community.
All right, so that is it for the lightning talks today. I'm just going to quickly put up our slide with the agenda for the day. So we will have a 15-minute break until 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then we'll come back for kind of the bulk of the work that we're going to be doing today. And Glenn Robeson and Dawn Childress are going to kick things off with a presentation on migrating from 2.0 to 3.0. So let's all meet back here in 15 minutes. I'm just going to leave this slide up for anyone who's joining us late. As a reminder to keep up with announcements and discussions during the event this week, join the Slack channel, which is on the bottom of the slide. You can join the bit.ly to get on the IIIF Slack and just join the 2021 Fall Working Meeting channel. So I will see you all back here at 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining us for the opening plenary and the lightning talks.